In the 20th century, we transitioned from using the fossil fuels to heat up our houses or oil boilers into using geothermal energy. The estimated cost savings for not having to import oil to Iceland instead of using the geothermal resource is around, I don't know, $700 million a year or something, which is a huge amount.
Z toho, co jsme mohli doposud vidět, se může zdát, že Islanďané spoléhají především na sílu nitra země. Popravdě ale nejvíce elektřiny vyrobí díky vodě. Tohle je jedna z nejstarších vodních elektráren na Islandu. Jmenuje se Foss.
It was built in year 1937 and it was revolutionary at that time. Before that time, for example, the inhabitants in our capital, Reykjavik, they were using coal for the stoves. But due to this new power plant, we had the chance to have electrical stoves all over the capital. So it made a lot of change. Hydropower plants are extremely important for Iceland. We produce over 70% of our electricity with hydropower plants. That is approximately 14 terawatt hours. We are not so dependent on rainfall as in continental Europe due to the fact that most of the water that we use for our station is from glaciers. But nevertheless, in our sailing strategies, we assume that we can have shortage now and then. And we have the right to curtail on the average each fourth year. And we have such allowances through our contracts with the power-intensive industries. Our hydro generation is very good for the balancing of the system. For most of the station, we have big reservoirs which are very good for the balancing. So we are not balancing much with the geothermal power, there we are producing base load. So we have a lot of potential with the hydroelectrical station in balancing, and that will also help us with growing wind production.
Tak tohle u nás v Čechách jen tak neuvidíte. Leda kdyby zrovna u vás v ulici prasklo vodovodní potrubí. Tahle země má zkrátka ideální podmínky pro to, aby se využívaly obnovitelné energetické zdroje. Byl by hřích, kdyby se používaly jakékoliv jiné. Znamená to tedy, že Island dosáhne uhlíkové neutrality už zítra? A nebo spíš příští týden?
I don't know, 20 years maybe?
Same opinion? As long as that, maybe?
Yeah, probably.
10, 15 years maybe? 15 years? Yeah, maybe. 15 years.
Never. It will always get higher. It will always get a new law, make it have to make more carbon.
My knowledge is not that big, but I think it is reachable within a few decades. Absolutely, because yes, there is lots of energy sources, so I think that a green transition would be quite possible here soon.
Oh, I'm not sure. They're aiming for what, 30 or something like that, but I'm not sure that we'll get it there at that time. But yeah, where else can we have electrical cars in Iceland? That's the best place for them. So we'll get there one day.
We are in a good place there. So we should not be expected to make it much better because we have it all right already. It's not fair that we have to do as much as people that spend much more. So we have to, I think it's all right here now.
V roce 2010 se Island zapsal do Guinnessovy knihy rekordů jako nejekologičtější země světa. Dodnes jde o jeden z mála států, který vyrábí veškerou elektřinu z obnovitelných zdrojů energie. Navíc Islandská ekonomika patří k nejvýkonnějším na světě a hustota zalidnění je extrémně nízká. V přepočtu obyvatel Island jen nepatrně převyšuje Brno. Takže jak to bude s tou uhlíkovou neutralitou?
We aim to become carbon neutral by 2040, and it's even been passed by the government of Iceland, the Alþingi, as a legislative act. And the government of Iceland has also stated very clearly that we aim to become one of the first fossil fuel free nations in the world.
Pokud to Islanďané zvládnou až v roce 2040, moc se nechci věřit tomu, že Němcům to bude trvat jen o 5 let déle a nám o 10. Island má suverénně nejvyšší spotřebu elektřiny na počet obyvatel. Čím to je? Vždyť v oblasti udržitelnosti došli Islanďané mnohem dál než ostatní Evropané.
We run everything with electric here. Before, like, electric has been very cheap in Iceland because of the water and everything like that. So I think that's the reason. A lot of resources we have.
Yeah, we have lots of houses are still heated with electricity in the west. So it's probably, and we have dark winter, so we need light. So that's the main thing.
Yeah. And it's cold also most of the time.
Because of it's a cold country, or heating the roads. I guess this is the reason.
We use it for aluminum factories and Bitcoin mining.
Zní to neuvěřitelně, ale 3 velké hliníkárny spotřebují skoro 80% veškeré elektřiny vyrobené na Islandu. Pro představu, jediná z nich spotřebuje skoro tolik disponibilního výkonu jako polovina Prahy.
The aluminium factory or aluminium smelter in Hafnarfjörður, which is the closest one, uses around 400 megawatts of electricity. They buy all of their electricity from Landsvirkjun, so a different company. HS Orka can have a customer that is in the east of the country, so some 1,500 kilometers away, and they get our electricity, but the electrons that come from our 2 power plants at the peninsula, they kind of leave the grid at the first opportunity. That's how electrons work. So it's not hugely important for that aluminium smelter as such, but of course it gives stability to the grid in this area, which is quite good.
In today's society, it's so important that we get it right when it comes to the climate and eliminating the greenhouse gases. And what is really interesting to think about, like the aluminum smelters today that are situated in Iceland, they can really play an instrumental role in reaching those ambitious targets all around the world, because aluminum is used all around the world.
Klimatický akční plán z roku 2020 popisuje, jakým způsobem chce Island dosáhnout uhlíkové neutrality a o kolik procent se musí snížit emise oxidu uhličitého v jednotlivých sektorech. Na tomto dokumentu je pozoruhodné to, že nejde o teoretickou studii, ale zcela konkrétní návod specifikující 48 nezbytných kroků.
Well, actually, the largest source of pollution today is the transportation. Transportation on land, on sea, and in the air, because of the fossil fuels that we use. So that's actually the biggest change that we need to go through now in the next 15 years.
Of course, this is a huge challenge, but nevertheless, I would point out that we have a lot of potential here. We have used renewable sources like hydro and geothermal until now, but we still haven't really touched on the third one, which is the wind. And I think you guys have noticed that there's a lot of wind out here, so there's still a lot of potential there.
Even though the technology is developing all over the world, and we will of course make use of that technology here in Iceland, it takes some time, to consider all of those investments and the shift that needs to take place. So I think even 17 years is a really short time span from that perspective. If you look at the fishing fleet, an average fishing vessel, maybe the lifetime would be maybe 30 to 50 years. So you need to replace the technologies and retrofit in many of these industries, and that's the big task that we face. And of course, we want to make it in a shorter time, but let's see, at least 2040 is our goal.
Jak jste sami mohli vidět, dosažení uhlíkové neutrality je tak náročný úkol, že s tím bude mít co dělat i tak vyspělá země, jako je Island, a přitom už nyní využívá téměř ze 100% obnovitelné zdroje. Já vám děkuji za pozornost a pokud vás zaujal Island tak jako mě, tak nám dejte o tom rozhodně vědět. A už nyní vám mohu slíbit, že se brzy ozveme, a to z dalších cest.